Welcome to today's headlines. Soludo declares amnesty for repentant criminals, gives February 2025 deadline. To my dear listeners from wherever you're listening from, good morning. And please, before I go into details, kindly please ensure you like, subscribe, and share. Now the details. Anambra State Governor Prof. Chukwuma Soludo has offered amnesty to criminals in the state, declaring that they have until the end of February 2025 to lay down their arms. The governor also announced plans to launch a joint security operation to tackle insecurity in the state. Soludo said the operation is codenamed Operation Udoga Achi, which means Let Peace Reign. The governor, who briefed journalists at the Anambra State Governor's Lodge on Tuesday, said his government has identified armed robbery, kidnapping, cultism, and touting as the principal problems causing insecurity in the state. He said, as for touting, the state anti-touting agency codenamed SASA is tackling that in Onitsha, and they are doing quite well. When we came in as governor, about 7 local government areas were in the grip of hoodlums, but we took on them head on and liberated all those communities. Today, we hear that a handful of some of those criminals earlier dislodged have now come together and have been terrorizing the state. We have had reports of people being kidnapped and vehicles snatched, but in the coming days, we will launch Operation Udoga Achi. We have procured here 168 patrol vehicles, which will be distributed to various security agencies. Apart from the support we'll be giving the security agencies, we are also deploying ICT in the fight against insecurity. We are calling on criminal elements who would want to partake in our amnesty program to come forward and surrender themselves and their arms. We are giving them from now to end of February to come and surrender, and we will be ready to help them start life afresh. Speaking on the continuous incarceration of separatist leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and the fact that many of the criminals hide under the cover of the detention to perpetrate crime, Soludo insisted that indications have shown that what is happening is organized criminal enterprise and has nothing to do with Kanu's detention. He said, I have been at the forefront of the call for the release of Kanu. I even said that in the worst case scenario, I was ready to keep him here at the government house and produce him anytime he is needed. Part of the reason was that we really need to sit down to interrogate this whole area, the whole idea. But for people saying that the insecurity is because of his detention, I want to tell you that Nnamdi Kanu himself and IPOB, the organization he leads, have made several press releases dissociating themselves from the kidnap for ransom and criminality that is ongoing. The truth of the matter is that criminals have now emerged. Hordes of them organize themselves using these Kanu's name. I am not so sure that even if he comes down and says stop, that they will hear him. They have tasted blood and they will not stop. They go for kidnappings and they are making millions from it, so they will not stop. Imagine someone who is riding Okada and they recruit him and he goes into the bush, and all his life he has never had 100,000 naira at arms. And he joins the group, and all of a sudden, they do a successful kidnap operation, and he got 1 million or 2 from ransom. Tomorrow, you think he will want to leave? In fact, the one who tells him to leave the business will be his enemy. So the matter is much more complicated now, and it is taking a life of its own. It is now lucrative business. All of them talking about agitation are just using that as a cover to get the sympathy of the people, especially those who are not informed. They present themselves as liberators. You are a liberator and you stay in the bush and you want us to believe you. They now add to it idolatry. The first thing they put in any town they go to is a massive shrine. The governor said henceforth his government will begin to revoke lands of any community who will harbor criminals. He added that members of such communities who give food or contribute money to take to them in the bush will be treated as collaborators. He said, also any house that is found to have abhorred kidnappers will henceforth become the property of the government. So my dear listeners, now we have come to the end of our today's news. And now before I go, in contribution to the news that I have read, I want to say that it is not a bad idea. You are asking them to surrender, and indeed, if only they would listen. But what I'm really concerned about is if they come to surrender their weapons, what will be their fate? Are you not trying to arrest them? So now let's move down to the comment section. The comment here says, Oga, it is a shame to promise criminals amnesty. So all the people who lost their loved ones to these evil people should just fold their hands and look without justice. So anybody can go out, kill, kidnap, rape, and come back to say, I repent, Abi. Oga, you are weak. So from now to February, they should continue their evil. Even rob those who are traveling in this festive period, then repent.
Now we've come to the end of our today's news. Please do drop by the comment section and let us know what your view is all about. Thank you for listening.